What if I told you that the secret to surviving 42 degrees Madrid heat was invented centuries ago, and we as newcomers and tourists are walking right past it every single day? Madrid hits over 40 degrees in July, and many apartments don't have an AC. After 3 summers here, I am sharing with you 7 tricks that help me survive Madrid summers and don't melt in the warmest part of the year. Number 5 is one of my favorite, and it costs nothing in a way. It's just all about adapting our habits to the hottest season. Stick with me, and I am sure you will find helpful tips to get through Madrid heat if you just moved to Madrid, or you're relatively new in Madrid, or you're just a tourist who could not find any other time to visit Madrid this or any other summer. So, welcome everyone. My name is Dunya. Welcome to my channel, Dunya in Spain. I've been an immigrant, a foreigner for over 10 years now. I lived at first in Austria for almost 7 years, and now I've been living in Spain for over 3 years. I made a lot of mistakes before I adapted to Madrid heat. And yes, it is as bad as many people are saying. Madrid heats have really no mercy. They are very aggressive, and you really need to take this seriously. And also, one of the interesting facts that many people don't know, Madrid is a very heavily populated area with a lot of buildings. Madrid city gets warmer compared to the surrounding countryside during the day for around 8-9 degrees. That's really no joke. But Madrileños have a lot of tricks how to fight Madrid summer heat. And now I am going to share these tips with you. Before I continue, I would like to ask you to please subscribe, because it really means a lot to small creators. And if you find these topics interesting, like living in Madrid, living abroad, expat life in general, adapting to a new life, you will for sure find a lot of interesting videos on this channel. So subscribe, and let's talk about these expat topics together. Number 1, become nocturnal. Many people in Madrid and very hot parts of Spain, they actually change their day habits quite a lot when summer comes. They avoid to be out in the hottest parts of the day. They go out if they need to get to work, they need to do any kind of errands. They do it in the morning, ideally before 10 a.m., but let's say not later than 12 p.m. And then they spend the midday at home or in their office, and they just go out after, let's say, 7 p.m., maybe better 8 p.m. or something like that. And then again, if they have something to finish, or they just want to take a walk or meet with friends, they do it in the evening, because the light is easily until 10 p.m., even a bit past 10 p.m. It's really easy to be outside at that time, especially because it becomes more fresh, and the people really use this time very well. Another thing is that the people adjust their eating schedules. Lunches are sometime around 2, 3 p.m. Dinners are past 9 p.m., more frequently even around 10 p.m. And of course, summer restaurant terrazas or bar terrazas are full, with people having light dinners and a couple of drinks to refresh themselves and spend time together. Hack number 2, the lukewarm shower trick. Many people make a mistake having a cold shower in summers, thinking that this is going to refresh them more. But this is wrong, because once the cold water reaches our body actually is activating a heat protection system. Once the shower is finished, we feel refreshed, but this is just for a very short time, because our body again needs some time to start releasing the heat naturally during the hot times. And actually taking a shower with lukewarm water, which is around 26, 27 degrees, is actually letting our body to cool down under the shower, and this feeling of being fresh lasts longer. Hack number 3, blackout the right windows at the right time. Most people are actually ventilating their apartments wrong because they think once it's hot, we are going to open the windows so that the air can get in. But the air around the midday, for example, is very hot. So the outcome is that our flats are not getting fresher, they're getting even warmer. And it's getting even more difficult to survive in our houses. The best way to keep your flats fresh is to either keep windows over the night open or open them very early in the morning to ventilate. And by 9 a.m., maybe 10 a.m., windows are getting closed and the blinds get shut. So basically, in the room can get even a bit dark, but this is what is going to keep the relatively cool temperature in the flat. This doesn't mean that flat is not going to get warm still throughout the day, but it is going to get at least less hot than with another approach. Once the evening comes, again around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you should open the windows so that the cool air, or at least as cool as you can get, can enter again into the flat. Hack number 4, the museum strategy. This is more for tourists and people who have guests visiting them and they would like to make most of their visit in Madrid. What people do, they usually make a mistake by visiting Madrid museums in the morning. This is a good approach outside of summer because there are not so much crowd in the mornings. But in summer, the better strategy is to get to in the morning or in the evening, you visit places outside, you do sightseeing, but then around the midday, you actually go to the museums. Some of the Madrid museums are one of the most famous in the world, like the Prado Museum, Reina Sofia, and people are coming from sometimes even different continents to visit them. So these are definitely worth visiting, and the best time to do it is around middays between 1 and 6 p.m. The museums are one of the, the coolest parts of the city during the midday because of course very good air conditioning. You can also go to mercados, for example, for lunch. They're also quite fresh. The only thing that can happen, especially during the weekends, is that around lunchtime, for example, when it's a good time to get away from the heat and make a lunch break, they can be quite crowded. Number 5, rethink what you eat and drink. As I said, this is one of my favorites because there are so many delicious dishes and drinks that you can put on your summer menu, and they are actually quite refreshing and quite good for summer. Of the most typical summer foods are cold soups called gazpacho and salmorejo. There are salads. There is jamon with melon, with sugar melon. Beside the sugar melon, I also like watermelon a lot. They basically, these fruits contain a lot of water, so they are good for hydration. And if you cool them down in the fridge for a couple of hours before eating, they are really, really refreshing. Another thing that I recommend is to avoid alcohol, especially midday, because it's a diuretic. It can cause you to dehydrate quite quickly. Instead of hot coffee, you could also take café con hielo. Basically, it's a cold coffee that is very refreshing. This you can ask in any bar. They will bring you a cup of coffee and on the side a glass with ice. And then you basically should pour coffee over the ice. A very obvious advice would be to drink a lot of water, a lot of liquids, but you should also be aware that you are losing the minerals with sweating. And you also need to compensate for these lost electrolytes. There are many electrolyte drinks, but one of Spain's greatest invention for hydration is basically gazpacho. This cold soup that I mentioned earlier is basically isotonic drink. You're supposed to drink it very cold. And besides being a good drink for hydration in summer, it's also very refreshing. Try these drinks and foods and let me know what you think. Hack number 6, dress like you understand physics. Wearing less clothes in summer is not by default going to help you feel fresh. When the sun is directly hitting your bare skin, it actually accelerates the heat absorption and you can get this hot feeling way faster. So the better solution is wearing a loose, breathable fabric that creates actually the air gap between you and the outside environment, and it's letting your sweat evaporate underneath and blocks, of course, the heat from entering inside. Some of the materials could be loose linen trousers, light long sleeves, or of course wide brimmed hat. This is very important to create like a shade around you to is isolate you from the direct sunlight. The other thing is are light colors. So please avoid dark clothes in summer. It's just absorbing the heat very quickly, while the bright clothes are actually reflecting the sunlight. And this is not really clothes, but of course, don't forget the sun cream. It's a very important protection, and it's life saving in summer. And it's not just if you're going to the coast for tanning, it's also for any kind of city walk going outside. Just don't forget the sun cream, at least factor 50. Another small hack that many people in Spain know very well are these fans, handheld fans. They are really great for summer, and many people wear them in their purses on like a daily basis. They don't go outside without them. Some also wear some small spray bottles with water to refresh themselves, like to spray the water on their face, on their neck. And there are even these small like a battery fans now that you can buy that are actually 2-in-1. So they spray the water on you, and they're also basically produce this cooling effect. So make use of all of this, especially these handheld abanicos are costing only a couple of euros, and you can get them almost anywhere in summer, especially. Hack number 7. Find your barrio secret shades map. If you have to go outside, if it's hot, if there is a lot of sun, try to see the map or in your head to imagine like where you can pass by, even if it's maybe not the shortest route, but if there is more shade, like if there are trees along the street, if there are high buildings on one side of the street, there will be more shade across the street. It's very important. If you can walk through the park and not through some street with no shade, do that, because these small things are actually helping a lot. And one bonus tip is the siesta. Basically, embrace the biology. Many people say that in the south of Europe, they have these afternoon naps after lunch because they are lazy, but this is really not true. Siesta as a nap time nowadays, especially like in big cities like Madrid, doesn't really exist anymore. Many people are not doing the naps, but these naps exist basically from centuries, if not millennia ago. The word siesta, this is a fun fact, comes from the Latin word ora sexta, which basically means that this is the 6th hour of the daylight, and it's when it's the hottest during the day, and this is when the people are supposed to have a lunch, and after lunch make a break, because our bodies are simply not very productive after meal time at this heat. Just simply listen to your body. And if you can, of course, many people have these kind of rhythms, daily rhythms, work rhythms, that they cannot make a daily breaks. But if you can make a use of it, a nap of 15-30 minutes, not more, or just not even napping, just sitting in some cooled room for some minutes, resting, digesting after your lunch. This can help a lot. So these were some most important tips. I would really like to hear from you. What do you think? Do you know some hacks that could help cool down in summer? That I did not mention here. What are your tricks? Write me, especially if you will have some business in Madrid in summer. If you need some more advices, especially where to go, what to do. And don't forget you can also visit my Instagram account, where I also have reels and short clips about Madrid summer, the heat. I'm also talking everything about life abroad, the life in Spain, tips for Spain, where to visit, especially Madrid. But for this summer heat, you can also find some reels and some tips. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video and this channel, and I will see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.